Okay, let's look at a few more examples of this bottoms-up factoring method. So again, I'm not going to write this on every single slide here, but it's ax squared plus bx plus c. Okay, remember our a value is no longer 1. Okay, remember this is the bottoms-up factoring method, right, that we're using, right? So I'm just going to write, this is bottoms-up, right? Remember why we call it bottoms-up is because that number from the denominator comes up and becomes the factor of x, or the coefficient of x, excuse me, in each of our factors, right? So let's go through the steps again, right? So steps, really, we want to first, I guess, make our x chart, right? So x chart, okay? So let's go ahead and really, I guess we could write for our first step is identify A, B, and C, right? So we should always identify A, B, and C. Hopefully you're kind of in the swing of that already because I've been doing that in every single problem, right? So C equals 2, okay? And so at this point, we want to make our x chart. Okay, so I'm going to have my x chart a little bit further down this time. We have to multiply to A times C, so 3 times 2 is 6. We add to our B term, which is 5, right? So two numbers that multiply to 6 but add to 5. Those will be 2 and 3, okay? And so I'm going to say, again, step 2, I think I said like write out your numbers. Okay, so I'm going to write out my numbers. We're 2 and 3, okay? Our next step was divide by your A value. Divide by A value, okay? And our A value here in this case is 3. So I'm going to divide by 3 in both of these numbers here. Okay. Step 4 was reduce the fractions. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and reduce these. So 2 over 3 does not reduce. So I'm just going to write it as 2 over 3. 3 over 3 I can actually just write as 1 over 1. Okay. And now that fifth step here is going to be the bottoms up. Okay, where again the denominator is going to come up and become the coefficient to x in our factors. Okay, so we can even write the parentheses out because this is what our factor is going to look like. I know that 2 is positive, but I'm going to bring the 3 up here, and that will be our coefficient to x, right? So I'll have 3x plus 2, and then on this other one, again, we're going to write out our parentheses here. I know this is a positive one. We'll bring this 1 up here. It'll be 1x plus 1. Okay, so here's our final answer. It's going to be 3x plus 2 and x plus 1. Right? And now, again, I'll circle it. I'm 99% sure I'm right. I'll be 100% sure if I FOIL this, and I'm good to go. So 3x times x will give us 3x squared. Our outsides will give us a positive 3x. Insides are a positive 2x. Last times last is this positive 2. When I combine like terms, I get what I actually started with, so I know that I am correct. Okay? Let's go ahead and look at a couple other ones here. Okay? Here we go. Now I have 3x squared minus 4x minus 7. Okay. Again, these are just more examples, right? So again, maybe I won't write out standard form this time. I'm just going to identify A, B, and C. So my A is 3, my B is negative 4, my C is negative 7. Okay. I'll still, I guess, write some of the steps here, right? So our steps, okay, x chart, right? So we want to do our x chart first. I will come down here. I know that I need to multiply to A times C, but add to B. So A times C in this case is actually negative 21. My B term here is negative 4. So I have to figure out these two numbers that multiply to negative 21, but add to negative 4. So I'm going to write out some numbers here. I know I could have negative 1 times positive 21, or the other way around, or I could do negative 3 times positive 7, or positive 3 times negative 7. I think I got my winner here. Okay, so 3 and negative 7 will fulfill these requirements. Okay, so I'm going to, again, write out my numbers. Okay, so I'll write out my numbers here of 3 and negative 7. Okay, I'll then divide by my A value. I'm going to say divide by A. My A value here is 3, so I'm going to divide by 3 under both of these. Okay, my fourth step was to reduce the fractions. I'm going to say reduce fractions. Okay, and that will give me now 1 over 1 and negative 7 over 3. Okay, and step number 5, this is going to be our bottoms up. Okay, where again we take that denominator and that's going to become the coefficient to x in our factor. Right, so here's our parentheses of our factor, it's a positive 1. I'll bring this 1 up here, so it's 1x plus 1. And my other one here, and I'll make my parentheses here, it's a negative 7, notice, so I'll bring my 3 up, so it's 3x minus 7. Right, so here's my final answer. It's going to be x plus 1 and 3x minus 7. Okay, always check with FOIL. Right, so x times 3x gives us 3x squared. Our outside gives us negative 7x. Inside is positive 3x. Last times last is negative 7. Okay, and now I'm going to combine those like terms to get 3x squared minus 4x minus 7. Okay, again, we'll do a few more examples in the next video here.